So I've got all my cases trimmed and chamfered, dried. I am going to use my RCBS handheld primer. Put this over like this. Put them all on the tray. And shake it until they all flip over. Alright, so I got them all facing up on the tray. Put the cover back on. Alright, so it falls in on the plunger. You stick your case in there. And then use the gripper deal to press them into place. And voila, you've got a primed case. To show that I've completed that stage, I'll flip it. Right, so occasionally I will get one that the primer doesn't want to go in. So for instance, this one started and it kind of got stuck. I don't force them. I have a decapping pen for that. I'll pop it out, chamfer the case hole, but sometimes I'll put one in here and it'll start and it won't quite go, and then I'll just kind of rotate the case a little bit and then get it to seat all the way. I don't try to force them. Forcing them is bad. You don't want to damage them, and then you also don't want to detonate one. So if you have one of those, not a big deal. There's ways to deal with it. I had one that got stuck. I've got this decapping die. All it does is punch out the primers. It doesn't really do anything else. It's got that little pin on the bottom. Lock this thing in or anything. I just got to get it all the way down. As you can see, this is sticking out. What I do is I just kind of hold it in place because it won't actually fit into the shell holder. So I just kind of hold it in place here. It guides it up, and then you'll watch it pop out at the bottom. Pops it out. Doesn't take much effort at all to get that thing to pop out. I am free and clear, and I just recover that primer and put it back in the holder. I use this VLD chamfer tool, and I'm not sure what manufacturer this is. Chamfer tool to go in and chamfer out the edge of the primer pocket. So once I have that done, I simply place that primer back in the holder, go to reseat it, and a little bit of pressure and wind up going, and I saved that primer and I'm able to get it back into the case. So I didn't lose the case and I didn't lose the primer just by not forcing it. So one of the other things that I've done is, just like I do with my 5.56 rounds, is I do the pin checks. I visually inspect for pins in the primers, in the primer holes, and also in the cases. That ensures that I can just go ahead and prime without having to worry about having a detonation due to a pin. Just run through all these really fast. This has only taken me, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to get 75 rounds primed. I got all 200 primed, and the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting these up for loading. And what I do is I flip them over with the case mounts up, and then I alternate them in different pistol trays. And what this does is it spaces them out for the funnel. Because when I put the funnel onto casing, if they're all side by side, I have a tendency to knock them, it be in the way. It's just convenient. I don't have as many accidents as far as spilling powder and stuff like that. And it's time to start loading. Use the charge master here. So I'll drop my powder charge into the pan here, take the pan and I'll dump it over to here. So I use a partner press as a double check to make sure that I'm getting consistent powder charges. This piece of equipment by itself has cut my reloading time in half. I've already got the charge pre-programmed in, so I usually do a couple of tenths short, and I just kind of trickle it in. You'll hit dispense one time, automatically does it for you. Super fast, super convenient. Which came up to 40.8, put it on the nose, drop it in here is my double check. Let's grab a little pinch, top this off. Want to be within 1/10 of a grain. 8.8 over the money. So there it goes. So it flashes 4007 or 40.8, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of give this little thing a tap, right, and it'll drop a little bit more in there. I think I need more. I'll just tap it till I think I got enough. That one's at 40.8, so I'll dump that one in there. So now it's reading 40.8, 40.9. But over here, when I dump it over here, is it should be at 40.8. No problem. There it goes, 40.8. So you kind of learn your scales and how much each little increment is. So if it winds up being a little bit too much, I'll pinch some out, or I'll just tap, or I can use the trickle button and trickle some in. But you kind of learn the settings. The powder that I use, the type of powder that I use, and the charge that I'm using is specific for my firearm. I did the load development already. Already know that this is a solid load in my rifle, so I am not advocating that this is the load for you. This is just what I use. So, and I've already worked this up as a safe load in my rifle. So I got powder in 50 cases right here, and one of the things that I will do is I want to ensure that I have powder in all these. So all I do is use a flashlight, go by, make sure I got powder in every single one before I stuff bullets in them. So I'm ready to see bullets, and one of my first custom dies that I ever bought was the RCBS Precision Micro Adjustable die. Very accurate, very nice, and the only thing it has is you have to have its own special shell holder. So I'll replace the regular shell holder with the seating shell holder, and I usually click it out a little ways, and I'll show you how I double check my seating depth. Alright, so I use my Sierra Match King 30 caliber 175 grain, all point bow tails, bulk, got some 168s there. Cases are all filled with powder. Got the die set up, we're ready to go. Alright, so my first round, place it in the shell holder. See my first bullet. And then what I do from here is I use my RCBS Precision Mic gauge again. And it has a second body on this that does the overall length of the cartridge. So that's at 10 thousandths over. Hopefully you can see that better now. So it's at 11 thousandths over. So it's 11 thousandths over from 0. So what I'm going to do is place it back on the die, and I'm going to bump it down 21 thousandths. So I'm going to click it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to do 18 and see where I'm at. Alright, it's 18. See where we're at. Here. Goes in there. Just screw that down. Okay, we're 3 away. So 3 away. Hopefully you guys can see that. And I want it to line up right on the 40. So there's 0 and there's 40. So I got to click it down another 3/10, 3 thousandths, I should say. Sorry. 3. So 3. 40, right on 40. I'll load up a couple more and double check that they're all landing about the same spot. One more. We'll measure these and see where they're at. Top down. And it lines up right on 40. Right on 40 is where I want it to be. Here's the third one. And it's just a tiny little, like a half a thousandths below 40, so that's good. Bullet seating is where I want it to be. I've double checked the first three to make sure that they're good to go. From here, I'll just load them all, and I'll spot check them every so often. So on a single stage press, in order for you to seat the bullet, you have to take the arm all the way down. So typically what I've seen a couple of times is with new reloaders is they kind of short stroke the handle, is they won't go all the way down, and then you get variances in your overall length of your cartridge. So whenever I bring the handle down, I make sure I push down, I switch my hand over, push down to make sure I seat every single one all the way at the bottom. Alright, we got the first 25 loaded. I'm going to spot check the last one that I loaded and see where the overall length is. And still right on 40, so we're still good to go. So the RCBS Precision Mic is one of my favorite tools. This thing is really super simple and easy. You have one die body for the headspace, you have the other die body for overall length. So one tool does two things, which I really like. It's simple, it's easy, it just screws down. And obviously you can tell by I marked, because I have 300 short mag, I have 308, I have 6.5 Creedmoor. I marked my 308 a long time ago with tape. It's got gook all over it. This thing is super old, but I've had it forever and it works really well. Really like this tool, fairly inexpensive. Alright, that's my first 50 completed. Federal brass, Federal primers, IMR powder, Sierra Match King 175s. I get about 2,630 feet per second velocity out of a 21-inch barreled 1 in 10 twist 308. Any questions or comments, put them down below. And again, follow recommended manufacturers' guidelines and recommendations for reloading.